It was recently revealed that Harry and Meghan were angry that the royal family was making new plans without him. This is making the public feel pretty happy. As for the real story about this incident, please watch this video until the very end. Nice to see you again, and welcome back to Kate Middleton and the Queen channel. So, reportedly, a furious Prince Harry hates the fact that he has been kept in the dark when it comes to the royal family's succession planning after King Charles's cancer diagnosis. So, it's believed that the firm has begun succession planning, and they started after the announcement of the king's cancer diagnosis. But reportedly, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are being left out of the loop. Alright, so first things first, I suspect that Harry has always been very delusional about his importance. Only as he honored his role in the monarchy as prince, fulfilling his duties, service, was he important to the UK. Now, he was valuable at that point, and that honored role he was born into. But he always had a choice to honor this role or to just choose something else, and he decided to choose something else, namely an American divorcee. And probably it has become lost forever. So, why exactly are Harry and Meghan supposed to be included in anything the royal family does? They were the ones who took themselves out of the running when they stepped down from their positions as working royals 4 years ago, and they haven't even tried to be civil with the family. They've only been so critical and thrown them under the bus every chance they've gotten, made some very nasty public allegations against the family, so why do they have any right to know anything? Now, my personal opinion is that maybe it would be best for Charles to step down. I sure do hope that he beats this cancer, and I hope that he goes on to live a long time, but still, we've got to be practical here. It might be time to hand over the throne to William, and they shouldn't include Harry in any part of that. I also hope that William makes it clear that there's no way back for Harry after everything he's done. If by the time Charles steps down, Harry hasn't already been removed from the list of counselors of state, it needs to happen when William becomes king. And hopefully the line of succession too. Honestly, Harry should have been removed a long time ago from this list. Leaving him on it just gives him a chance to slip back into the family, or so he thinks. He has intentionally hurt all members of his family, and he doesn't have the right to just say he's sorry and automatically be forgiven. Harry is also not a part of the succession, so why on earth should he be involved in the planning? I hope that he's out forever, and I hope that Prince William is going to demonstrate this as clearly as he can, as soon as William ascends the throne. Now, of course, I love that Harry hates this whole situation. I hope he's furious, because that's what he deserves. I mean, he ruined his grandparents' last years, and now he needs to have to face the consequences of his awful behavior. But to be honest with you, I don't understand what he expects. I mean, Harry's not half in, half out like he and Meghan wanted. He's out, and he's never going to be in again. It looks to me like Harry also made plenty of plans without consulting his family, so why should they consult him? And what about the man Harry has become? Okay, the man who ran away from his royal responsibilities and duties, believes, though, that he should still be involved in planning the king's succession? That just shows how absolutely insane and delusional he is. I mean, Harry still can't accept the fact that he's not in the loop, and now he'll probably never be again. The only way I see him coming back to the UK is if he is desperate, and maybe he'll live out his life in the backwoods somewhere with Meghan Markle. But why does he think he has a right to have any say in anything? It really bothers me. He was the one who wanted to leave, he and Meghan, so that they could chase after money and fame in California, and the royal family didn't have a choice but to accept their decision. So the royal family certainly does not need any input from those two grifters. And Harry's going to have to put up with it, whether he likes it or not. It was his choice to leave the family and relocate to the US. And I'm guessing the reality is finally sinking into his stupid ginger head. Meghan, though, she's just clinging on to him for all the cash and fame she can squeeze out of him, and once she has squeezed him dry, she's going to throw him away. The royal family, meanwhile, will be just fine without Harry around. I don't believe Meghan's ever going to feel bad about anything. I don't think it's possible. And as for the two invisible kids who have supposedly been produced by those two, they're going to be fine too. The only friends and family they know about anyway are American. They're not going to be coming to the UK anytime soon, even if they are real. Meghan's going to make sure of that. So I think Harry really needs to take a good, long, hard look in the mirror, get his act together before Meghan dumps him. But Harry made his hatred and his resentment towards the institution of the monarchy very obvious in every interview, in the docu-series, and in the book too. Harry wanted out, and he claimed that his father and brother didn't even want to be kings. They were just trapped. So if that's the case, then why does Harry feel like he deserves to be any part of planning for the next reign? There's no room for him, and he's not a part of the British people anymore. He said he hates the country and it's toxic, so the British people don't want to have him involved in any way, shape, or form. And Harry, if you got a problem with it, tough, get over it. The royal family has to make plans without involving Harry, because Charles knows, like nobody else knows, just how dumb he is. I mean, Harry is operating at a very low level. He thinks he can just walk away from his family, and then after everything he has said and done over the past few years, he can just be forgiven and let back in. I mean, what kind of fantasy world is he living in? So, Harry, he got himself into this mess. He got himself caught in Meghan Markle's web, and she's going to keep him there until she's done with him, until she has squeezed all the life out of him. He's going to stay with her because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. After being demoted on the royal family website, it has to be obvious to Meghan that any divorce settlement isn't going to have anything to do with the royals. So if she's just waiting for Harry's next inheritance to come through, she's going to discover it doesn't have anything to do with her, and it's going to have conditions applied that do not include her. So maybe Harry just needs to move on and focus on making a life for himself in California. Nobody's going to include him in anything to do with royal events. He and Meghan just caused too many problems. They wanted their freedom, they wanted their privacy, they've got it. Go live your lives and just leave the monarchy alone. But in another development, let's see if he tries to up the ante and tries even more to discredit the king and the heir to the throne than he has already. Honestly, I think that's what this is all about. Harry wants to put himself into a position of power, and if he doesn't succeed at that, then, he and Meghan, they're not above public extortion. And it might seem a little out there to say, but he might think that he would do a better job, and so he's trying to get his way in the only way he knows how. Regency for George would also be a consideration if he was able to completely discredit William. I'm just seeing way too many rumors about this affair and revelations about William's horrible temper ever since Catherine's surgery. I do not believe this is all a coincidence. It's coming from somewhere. And Harry, the plan is just like it always has been. When your father passes away, your brother's going to become king. That is set in stone. When King Charles passes away, there will be a funeral, and then a few months after that, if there hasn't been already, there will be a coronation. But again, Harry, you cannot expect to play a big role. I think you're going to be treated the same you were for your father's coronation, if not worse. The best Harry can expect is to be seated in the third row. And Harry trying to discredit William is not going to affect matters whatsoever. Harry could only become George's regent if he succeeded before he was 18. So that would mean that William would be a little more than just discredited. And Harry would also have to have permanent residence in the UK. Now, if Parliament can ever just do the right thing by removing Harry from the line, that would prevent that from happening. And honestly, the only reference we have to William's horrible temper comes from Harry. And Harry, the story he tells is that he was pushed down into that dog bowl, but he never said why that happened. He never said exactly what he did to provoke his brother. I don't believe these conspiracy theories, though. The only thing I think Catherine hasn't been accused of yet is being abducted by green aliens from Mars. Anyway, Harry and Meghan have already shown everything else in the family, and on more than one occasion they have used Harry's late mother's image and death to their advantage just to get attention. So maybe they're not saying anything because there isn't anything to say on that issue, but I'm sure they still appreciate that coverage. So Harry wanted out, and now he's upset because he's not being included in the planning. Well, he was the one who wanted to walk away from the royal family. So why should he be included in the planning? Is he really that immature? Is he really that dense? The future of the monarchy simply doesn't include him or Meghan. If you ask me to, a content individual is not always whining, doesn't look miserable all the time, is not somebody who is attacking their family. A happy person wouldn't want to hurt somebody else. And, maybe they would even have the dignity to meet their aged, ailing father-in-law for the first time. Did you see the news that Harry dropped his case after a judge ruled that he was more likely to lose at trial because the publisher was able to show that statements issued on his behalf were intentionally misleading? And how about what happened on February 28th, his losing his high court challenge against the government over its decision to reduce his publicly funded protection when he's in Britain? So I'm sure he's so excited about these legal decisions, let's not forget about the cost of his legal teams. The losers sure keep on losing, and I can't say I'm sad to see it. I especially would love to tell Harry, you've spent all your time saying that you don't like the work and you don't want to do it, saying that your own citizens are hostile forces, sharing information that was disclosed in private family conversations and making money off of it, talking about your shame at being a part of it, mocking your own family and the monarchy. And what about when Harry admitted that he called in a direct hit on his father from a helicopter? Harry is an excellent example of a narcissist expecting all the benefits of privilege without any of the work, demanding that the world alter its expectations of him based on his whims. I'm not even sure how to address their reasonable trust issues with Harry, but his self-awareness is that of a 2-year-old. I just shared with you all the information about Prince Harry being abandoned when the royal family made plans without him. How do you feel about this incident? Please leave a comment to let us know. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen channel to support us more. Again, goodbye, and I'll be back to see you all tonight.